Greetings, sweet dear ones, sweet dearly beloveds. Welcome to Huna TV. It's an honor to be here with our special guests. And if you have questions, we'll do our best to answer them. This is live and interactive. Huna TV at the House of Huna. Welcome to you all. And we look forward to being with you here. Enjoy. Hi there and greetings there, sweet dearly beloved, sweet dear ones. Yeehaw! What a wonderful day today, wonderful moment being here. Really happy to have these two wonderful guests with me. If I can just have them bring themselves on here, both of them, Nick, Sylvester, and Miki. Welcome. What a ray of sunshine you are, Miki. And look at this Nick guy. He's so cleaned up and stuff, I can hardly recognize him. He looks so
Thank you, Huna. Thank you. I appreciate it. I bathed today. I didn't wear a cap today. And I must say I agree, Huna. Next to you and I, Michelle is a beautiful yellow ray of sunshine with the yellow in the big smile. Yeah. I'm really happy to be here with the both of you. Good stuff.
Thanks, Nick. Fantastic. You too.
Yeah, you know, I was up early this morning in the Caribbean Sea. So, yeah, I'm all dusted off and everything. And I put on my best shirt and my best cut-off sleeve shirt, as I typically would do. and make it here. Got to be in the groove. We're in the groove over here, you know. Over here in Playa and Mexico, and let me say this month, that's what the title is of the theme of today's conversation, the Tuatara disclosures. Okay, now Tuatara just simply means it's the birth sign for April. Okay, so Tuatara is referring to the smiling gecko. Okay, so I'm sure we've got some smiles to disclose about, some actions and some wonderful missions that everybody's been on for, or ceremonies that they've been on for this past Tuatara, for this past April. Yeah, and I kind of want to just to check in with you on what April has, or the Tuatara, the smile, energy of the smile, what that has that brought a smile to your face this past month? And if we can kind of correlate and compare certain moments, let's just say you were in ceremony meditation within the same day, on the same date, or very close to it, while we were in ceremony, or while Nick was in conversations. What was the were these interactions? I kind of want to see if we can confirm even a little bit of that light connecting around the world in those kinds of minute to minute or day by day, very close. You know what I'm saying?
I do. It's funny because, I always ask my spirit guide, should I do this interview with that person, or who should I be connecting with right now? And when you reached out, Huna, it was very clear to me that we're supposed to start as light workers connecting across continents and across timelines, because those timelines, or the time differences, are meant to mess us up quite a bit. And it's really important that you're doing your traveling, and that you're doing your, beautiful rituals throughout the world. I know you've got a very, very packed schedule, and that's very important work that you're doing. And I don't know if people realize just how many grids are opening up for light workers right now. I don't usually talk about this on some of my channels, just because my followers are all over the place, because I'm all over the place. I bounce around from geopolitical issues to religious, prophecies all the way into the light worker stuff. And so the people that have followed me from the very beginning know that I'm a light worker. They know I express myself that way, and that's who I believe I am. But to start opening up the lines of communication across borders, across countries is extremely important. And the rise of the feminine divine right now is beautiful. It's really, women are coming into their power. And I see twin flame connections starting up very soon here as we prepare for ascension, really, the truest form.
Yeah, you've said some wonderful pieces there. And that final one you said, especially the convergence light, which is the twin flame. I can share a little bit about those as we go along too.
Go for it.
Absolutely, as we get into it. This is live and interactive, of course. You've experienced some of this. So when anybody wants to get an answer to their question, if they have a question, you have to come on and ask the question directly. This is the time to reveal yourself, as I say. And I must say I'm honored by all of those who come to ask a question to show their face and step right up onto the world stage. This is what this is. We're connecting together. Let's see each other. I see you anyway in your dream time. Kind of know some of your habits, you guys. I got to see what you've been up to. Hello.
Yeah, I just similar to what Michelle said. In regards to the transcending continents, timelines, whatever. I mean, I've been a truther type researcher, student of the game, studier way longer than I've been a Huna. So, it's a lot more familiar with me, or to me, excuse me. Some of the things that you guys, that we do as Hunas are still new. A lot of the grid work, a lot of the timeline, grid lines, those things are I'm still learning. I've got a lot of other irons in the fire. I talked to a lot of people on multiple time zones. I got some people, some channelers in Ireland. I got Mahoney in Spain. I got a couple of more European contacts. My new show with Dylan, who's out of Australia. I'm talking to lovely Rihanna all the time out of New Zealand, near Auckland, all through the United States. And, when you guys were in Southern UK, Michelle, not Michelle Klann, but Michelle Xiao, who's a Huna, and Rihanna, who traveled together. We spoke a few times while you guys were there, doing your magic. So I sort of was able to feel, energetically part of the gang, and it was a good thing. But like Miki said, yes, these time zones, these distances have been designed to keep us apart. It's like we were systematically planted all over this globe, and it's very difficult to frequently spend physical time together. There's a lot of challenges. Obviously the money situation, the job, the families. There's a lot of challenges that keep us physically apart, but she couldn't be more right. Huna, you couldn't be more correct. I cannot wait to really start embracing the physical proximity with these amazing people.
Absolutely. We're looking forward to having that reunion, Huna. And let me just say, Huna Hatoniwa. If I can say, Huna just brings so much light and energy in here. Hatoniwa. And you're correct with the reunions that we got. I've got some reunions planned for you guys. Really, I've got some meetings planned for you guys. I really do. I'm putting the budget together so we can. Okay, and that's what Burning Mask is all about. That's what the ceremonies and the missions to the stargates and the ley lines and the castles and these sacred sites are all about. Excuse me. And so what I'd like to, just to remind everybody, if you have a question, I'm going to say it again. If you have a question, Huna Tamake will give you the link to come on and ask a question. where I'd like to just kind of pick this up now is you asked me a good question a moment ago, Nick, as we were doing our 5x5 setup. You asked me a question about what is the percentage. I'm going to invite you to repeat that question again.
I would be happy to, because I've been thinking about it for, I don't know, a year, but I never really asked it. And when Miki mentioned the divine feminine, divine masculine, the twin flame thing, I am curious about what percentage of the Huna are female compared to male. And I know one's higher than the other. And after you answer that, why is that, in your opinion, that it's that way?
Let me do a screen share with you, okay? And then I can reply to that. And then maybe there's a question that comes from it. What do you think? Let me just do that, okay? Let me add to the stream here. I just have some photos from my Facebook pages I post. I usually document on Facebook, so I'm not much of a writer with a pen, but I am with a Facebook. So here you go. Here's the this is the mission recently in Cornwall. The ceremony of the undoing, which is a personal, powerful personal ceremony to each individual who committed their energy to be there individually. They sat in session with me privately as we moved through the whole day. Incredible ceremony. But have a look at this. How many men do you see in there? Not counting me.
Yeah, I'm looking. What do
Yeah,
I need to make mine bigger? But I'm seeing what, like 2? Oh, there we go.
2, including me.
Yeah.
If unless we're going to speak to pronouns here, but there's only 2 masculine in here, and so what is the ratio for what I've been doing? Is it's been roughly 80-20 in larger groups, in smaller groups like this. This is pretty much not 10 to 90, right? 90% women here, feminine. The feminine. You asked why, right?
Yes.
Why. And my thought to that, my understanding to that is that the feminine have risen, and they are showing themselves. They know themselves, even if they have a little bit to grab a hold of, and they're coming in and they're grabbing a whole bunch more. The point is that they have awakened, and I believe they have risen, not rising, that you have risen. Miki is here because she's wide awake and she's risen, and she's here to tell you about the feminine rising and perhaps in some respects that you can understand that the feminine rising. But as we are in the new earth consciousness right now, in my understanding, she has risen. And so what I am seeing in my ceremonies, especially the undoing here at Cornwall and before that in France at Mont Saint Michel, same ceremony, is that the feminine are ready for what? If they're rising, if they have risen, why are they doing these kinds of things? This is preparation. This is preparation for advancement. I think the feminine is standing now. I think she has risen. In the new earth, we call planet Matea, which cannot be the same as Gaia, where she was rising. She was rising in Gaia. This is just my perspective on it. It's not, you can take it as you like. And that she is now standing. And when I'm sitting here with these beautiful beings, though many are Huna, they have risen already. And they are now receiving their tools and their superpowers and their skills, and they're retooling. I think they're retooling. Right? And undoing means to detach some of these old time codes and these old distorted light codes. Is what this undoing is about. Detaching the threat, removing the threat that was placed upon the feminine you know, the threats of rape, the threats of abuse, and all. They were being detached. And because these guys they've come to stand, and they're looking for their superpowers, and we're doing the best we can to help support that, right? So, if anybody has a question to that, perhaps Miki has something to share about that, maybe from the image. But
I think that women are just very attached to Mother Nature and the Mother Goddess. And I know for me, I knew that the Earth was starting to heal in around 2012. That's when I started. 2013. The voice started coming over saying, "Oh yeah, no, this isn't how you're going to be living. You need to start healing." And I went seeking true healers, shamans, you know, because I knew that we carry. Well, I didn't know then, but I know now that we carry the same blueprint as Mother Earth. And a woman knows when she's pregnant. And so when women come active, that means they are preparing for a much greater outcome. And I agree. I feel like we are about to reverse all things that have been, I guess, manipulated, you know, all things that have been suppressed and all things that need to come to the surface. And so I think women are very in tune with that. But there are so many men right now that are impressing me so much. They're just coming up and out. And it's a very thick matrix for them too. It's not just about like women's abuse or something. Like this is, the men have been told they're not allowed to feel. They're not allowed to talk about emotions. They're not allowed to cry. I mean, can you imagine a lifetime of not being able to cry? It's unacceptable, this matrix. It's unacceptable. We need the whole thing to shift back to what would be more childlike, something that you would be more like when you were first born. You know, a child doesn't get up and wonder, am I going to have fun today? A child doesn't get up and wonder, am I allowed to play with this toy? Am I allowed to have this feeling? Am I allowed to have this thought? They don't question. They just go, and they're in the presence of the moment. And so I think we're going to end up back in a childlike, forever young state. But it's a lot of work, and it's probably work that men might not be ready for quite yet. But I know they're coming into that, and I can see the strength in that. And so I'm just welcoming it at this point.
Yeah, thank you very much. What I experienced with the ceremonies that I have that I produce and promote and reveal. They're really, really incredible. There are oftentimes a large number of men as well. I can't say that there never is, but there has been. And there have been so many Hunas, masculine Hunas that are sealed now, that have become Huna, take the initiation. So many, over the past 30 years of doing the sealed initiations. You know, there's a lot of people, that's thousands. There were thousands. I can't tell you all the masculine names or the numbers of the masculine and the feminine, but today, certainly in these past 5 years, the feminine has been very strong and in their attendance, grabbing a hold of their superpowers, as we have said. And I've seen men cry. They have been crying. I mean, I'm like a baby. I cry too sometimes. I wouldn't say we're a baby, but I'm like a big baby. I'm the biggest kid around here. I grab a hold of things and I play with them anyway, you know. I just oh, that's my castle. I'm having that. Thank you very much. Oh, Mont Saint Michel. Didn't I used to rule that property? Okay, I'm going to have that room back now that it's a hotel. Yeah, we have the tears. The masculine has the tears. Has what we call the muki, which is the sorrow and the remembering. It's been coming through really strong with the things that we have done to the feminine, for sure, and remembering what we had done to the feminine. I don't want to go off into tears and pull everybody into the muki here, but certainly the masculine are also holding steady right now, being what I would say, Miki and Nick, I refer to the masculine as pillars, not as men or masculine, but as pillars. We call them te pou manawa, which is a pillar to support the foundations of the feminine. And that is who's coming forward. Not so much the guys in the gym, although they're good, they take care of themselves, but the ones that have that very strong mentality and strong heart and they take all that strong physique and they bring it to support the feminine as a pillar. I'm promoting that. I'm hoping you're asking for that. That's what you're asking for. That's what the feminine are asking for. Whether these men are good fathers or have not been good fathers in the past matters not. Matters now where we are going forward. To have to be reintroduced into society by the powers of a pillar to support the feminine, then I'm here to help that too. I'm here to support that.
I'm glad you brought that up, Huna, the good father, because honestly, man, that's my most important job. That's my one. People out there in society, the way it has been, they want to boast and brag about, I'm CEO of the, this, that, and the other. And, me, man, I want to be the best dad I can possibly be. And, and if I can do that successfully, I don't have to say much else. I have a 12-year-old daughter and a 13-year-old son who, Huna, who he's become a Huna, as well. And he's learning. He's been to a conference. He's been up on stage, and this is kind of the stuff he lives for. He can't wait to be a grown up. And I said, you don't need to be a grown up. You just need to be in your own soul and do your own thing. And to see those two, this is the reason I do everything I do, is for those two. So I'm glad you brought up that, because it's one hell of an important job, is to be a father or a mother, single, or, if you do have a significant other, do not take those jobs lightly.
Absolutely. And thank you. Thank you for bringing for allowing your son to be part of the Huna community. And that's where things kind of begin. Like in my culture, for instance, we are raised at the age of 3 to stand in front of our tribe and our people, our school, and pronounce who we are, what our lineage is, and who the families we are connected to at a very young age. So we get up on stage and we're speaking to our, what we call our pakapapa, which is our genealogy. And we can speak to that from a very young age. This instills a very strong sense of self worth and identity, and a strong mind, because the children, even at age 3, are remembering. They are guided to remember more and to speak out. And release those energies out into the land, the water, the sky, and the community, and be seen and be known and be heard, and become a pillar of the community. And now your son is on this journey. I trust and do have seen many children on this journey who have also become Huna, who became Huna at the age 14 and 12, and now are in their 18 and they're 20 now. And they're so strong. They're not interested in the social media type of life other than if they can come to speak or at conference and these things. So that's why we need to have these events, what kind of events we're having, so we can bring them. We need some more. We need them to speak for us as we depart these places, so they can continue sharing the education. Absolutely, this wonderful spiritual education, and a strong mind, strong heart, and love for their community. Yeah.
I tell you, actually, when it was in Anaheim, and when I went on stage for my 20 or 30 minutes, I brought him up, and he said a couple words. He said hi, and I'm happy to be here, kind of thing. And I'll tell you, I had tears when I saw, after we got off stage, the line of adults that lined up waiting to speak with him, and just to be in his presence, because they knew that there was something special about him, and I was like crying. It was powerful, man. It really was something to see.
Aw, that's cool.
You know, all of our cultures have this and have left it behind. My culture, not so much. We are very strong in this way. In the words of the Mandalorian, this is the way.
Yeah. You know,
This is the way.
speaking of the way, you know, I think that just to bring it back to masculine and feminine, I think that as we continue to break down the walls of duality, it really is that parting sea moment where Moses is parting the sea, but that really is a parable for extreme duality that we've all come here to witness and observe. And under the observer effect, we can dissolve duality, enter into a state, leaving karma into dharma. And this has just been something that I've been learning a lot about lately. And that is that, okay, we've had this time to watch in shock and awe of how much the Matrix had divided us. It had divided us by country, by wars, by religion, by language, by time zone, by, you know, masculine and feminine, when really nature wants to be in perfect harmony all the time. It doesn't want to be in a state of duality, but it takes two to create duality. And as much as we all think, oh, there's good and evil, the truth is there's a middle way. If you are a parent, bringing it all the way back around to parenting, and you have two children that are arguing, you're going to listen to both testimony. You're going to give them both the love that they deserve, knowing full well that they're coming from a perspective that if they're given more perspective, they're going to have an ability to dissolve that duality between them and their sibling. And so I really believe that that's how God works. He watches over us. He wants us to dissolve this duality at this point, to come out of war, because the more we focus on war, what do we get?
War.
More war.
War.
The more we focus on duality, what do we get?
More separation.
Yeah. So when you just said the way, and yes, it would be so amazing if some of us knew our ancestry and we actually had the ability to stand in front of a village or tribe and actually even learn that we could create a pillar. So many of us don't even know our bloodline. We don't even know our heritage. We don't know anything at all about ourselves. And so between all the manipulation between the masculine, the feminine, and all the divides between countries, it's so exciting and so warming to be thinking of the mixing of the waters and the age of the Aquarius, leaving that age of Pisces where it was all about separation of the mind and the spirit. It was really total separation of the two fish. And now if you look the other way and you come back the other way, it's the rejoining. It's coming back into that age of Aquarius where we have the mixing of the waters, and the Red Sea can come back into a current. Current sea is 107, Aquarius 107. And we can really come back into a state of oneness, so the law of one. So I'm really excited about teaching people that it's so when the crowd is observing duality, they are putting out a frequency, and it's actually the crowd that affects the outcome. It's not the ringleaders, it's not the authorities, it's not the people in the middle. It's where we put our focus. And so as we, as a people, as a world, come into a resonance of peace, that's the only time the Red Sea will come down from parting its way and back into a state of total union. And so I don't know if you guys are picking up on any of that stuff lately.
Oh, well, of course, the one consciousness expansion. That is beautiful. We can touch more on this. I think that Rebecca here. Rebecca, hi. You have a question there, Rebecca. Let's get you onto the
welcome
stream.
back.
Yay.
Thank
You
you.
can hear okay?
Yes, I can
Hear okay. Okay. So yeah, we were talking, I asked a question months back about if I was to see my husband again. He supposedly passed from COVID in Christmas of 21, and you were talking about people coming back in May. And it's almost May. So I was wondering if you could elaborate anything on that question, if you remember it, or if you want to talk anything about May.
Well, I'd love to talk about May, and that's a great question. It's pushing my memory on that when it happened, but May is significant. Of course, we're going to be in Mongolia for the ceremony of the Uruha, the ceremony of the Sahi Uru, which is the enter and return of the 22 billion souls. Okay. So we are going to be it's a major team effort in May 20th and May 21st. We will be set up in the mountain in the Gobi Desert to support souls that are ready to come back into form and are going to be put through the washing machine. Okay, we're working with I just say it for just so that you get this image that we're helping to clear so much distorted light off the souls as they enter in the washing machine. There's an image I want to share with you. It's I'll see if I can get it. It's pretty crazy, and it is a message from the other side. Okay, it is a message from the other side, and I want to share this with you and how it came about. It came through when we were at St. Michael's Mount, and we were going through the castle, clearing distortions and clearing the dining room, clearing the garrison, which is the armory, clearing all these ancient spaces inside this castle. And there was one area, the dining room, where we got to, which had a stained glass window. And the stained glass window, when we were in doing the clearing, I can't seem to find it now. It was shining the light on the stained glass window, and it threw an image on the floor. Could you find it for me, Tamaki, please? I don't know why I lost it, but it threw an image on the floor. And when I was in the meditation and we were all in ceremony, we call it a drop ceremony. When we go into a place, so we don't disturb everybody. We drop the crystal grains through the room, which is pure Christ-like grains of crystal, and we go into what we call the login. We do this in telepathically, and as we're allowing all the dark energies to come through us and flow through us so we can wash it, an answer came through the stained glass window, hit the floor, and it was the letters E and A, or A and E backwards. So because it was mirrored, it was like backwards. You know what I mean? So from the screen, it was AE when you look at it, but when it hit the ground, it was EA.
Okay.
There it is there. That EA it's the mirror image of AE, which means yes. Okay, it means yes, and it threw the reply, because it was just at the end of doing that clearing and purification work within this dining hall, big, huge dining hall with all of the those the shields with all of the symbols on for the different tribes. Your guys' lineage, by the way, in that dining hall. And once we had done the work and moved the shadow and moved the energies, because we could all feel the shadows passing through our system as we were clearing, the final word yes came through and hit from the other side. So yes, awesome. Your husband is coming back. Yes, all are coming back. All are passing through the system, the highest system that will help cleanse any of the distortions, should they be bringing any, and also the brand new souls and the beautiful brand new child of the light that will be coming through. All will be at the same highest levels. And so this image here, from the other side, it says yes.
Awesome.
I've got a lot of things like this. I'm sure everybody has stuff that can share. But I wanted to your question is yes. And in May is when we take action on a larger scale.
Okay.
22 billion souls. So I hope that helps.
Oh, absolutely. And thank you. And like I said, welcome back. I talked to you last month too at your birthday and the financial things, and just keep it up. Keep it up. This is so exciting. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. Yes. How do you say law of one in one word?
How do you say what, Huna?
How do you say the law of one in 4 letters?
Oh. Not sure.
Huna.
Huna.
In 4 letters, I just said the law of one. Huna. Okay, it's Lemurian for the full essence meaning of it is one light in the many, many lights in the one. Huna. That's the full true expression of it in the light language of Lemurian. It's multidimensional.
So, Huna, if you wouldn't mind, could you expand a little on her question in regards to the souls and the you know, the how might this look? What exactly is supposed to be taking place when these souls do come back? I mean,
Okay.
are we talking about incarnation? Explain a little to me. I'd like to learn that.
There's words that don't need to exist. And the English language is fraudulent, mostly.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so when you say incarnation, that's not even a word that needs to exist. There is no such thing as death. There is only life. So you're not incarnating because you're not dying. We all know, we do know this, that we move from one energy to the next. As Dane or as Huna Flash or as all names, Miki, Nick, have these names expired? These essences, have they expired? No, we remember you. You might return and you're given another label, or you might say, no, this time I'm going to be named this. That if you want to use incarnation, I will say this. Okay, these 22 billion souls have been here before. They're coming back. Is there a return? Yes, let's say return, and a return to the moment. And as the sound of incarnation or incarnate is kind of a bit of a disgusting word, really. You know, it's almost like just saying a piece of meat. You know, carne asada. You're not just a piece of meat. You're so much more in light energy. So let me speak to the light energy. When we share about the 22 billion souls of light, it's a light line. It's only one life. We have one life to live, and it's infinite. And these moments when you are here as Nikki or a Nick or as Miki or as Huna Flash, that's just one moment along the light line. We're so infinite, so eternal. There is no stopping. And as the light comes through to be received, and to return into to this dimension at this moment, I suppose that's where the meaning of incarnate, only if you're speaking about the 3D, but even then,
Yeah.
Okay, we're changing this whole environment that the souls that enter into here are returning, and we, because they are me and I am you, and we are. This is the Huna. It's the one in the many, many in the one. This thing never stops. This ride, our energy, is like the stars going comets flying through space and entering back into the field again. That's you. That's what these souls are. So they're going to enter into the system that we are working with in terms of nature, and it is the nature, the creation of life. It is to do with nature's system. It's called the Wataka. We refer to it as Wataka. I prefer Wataka than incarnate. Okay, Wataka. Wataka. It means the first principles of love, the first principles of the crystal Christ, the stone. Wataka, the first principles of birth, first principle of birth, to be in the form. So you entering as in the Wataka, you are entering back into the field as the principal first love, the principal first stone, and the principal first birth. Higher and higher consciousness being every time you return, you're bringing all that with you. We want to ensure that information that you're bringing in is intact and surely highly protected within the container of the light and the container of the crystal being that's coming in, that we are supporting to return here to Wataka. Okay, and so that action that we are doing in Mongolia, the Gobi Desert, is in a mountain near the Lamsaka. This is going to be incredible. We got a big team going in. A strong team of Hunas that are just so much love, brother. They are not, have no fear. Whatever comes through, and then we prepare and help prepare the souls to be returning through the feminine womb, through the feminine. So the masculines on point there in the Gobi Desert are there to hold the frame and the foundation for those souls to re-enter into the womb of the feminine, because it's the feminine womb that will be returning the light back into the light, returning the light back into the light. There's light here, and they are light. So the light is returning to the light. One light in many lights in the one. It's this crystal light. That's what we are. When we are here in the form, we are water. When we are here in the form, we can also be ice because it's still water. That's the crystal. Right? We are the light within that. So we are supporting that. I hope that helps. It's probably still vague, but you have to get on the ground with us, because I tell you what, I'm what I do and what we do as Huna, we are best experienced in person.
I'd like to maybe try to also interpret or repeat in my words. I think sometimes when you hear things in different languages or different perspectives, it helps.
Yes, please do.
The bottom line is there are infinite instances of you. There's an essence of you across the universe. And think of you as just being consciousness, like you are consciousness in the body. You are not the body. You're not even the experience. You are the consciousness here having an experience in order to provide the observer effect to the greater universe. Where you send your consciousness is where you're having probably the deepest experience. And so you have a consciousness now, and you chose this timeline, and you chose to be here to either observe or to help. Whatever your purpose is here, you likely know it. You just have to relax into it. And some people would say that there are walk-ins, like you might have a near-death experience, and then someone will walk in, or another essence will walk in and take over the vessel, because you have contracted to do that. So whether you consider reincarnation, but I do believe that right now, like at least right now, we are calling all angels to come here to this space-time continuum to sort of help us, win this final battle. And it is a final battle, and we are all light, because there's infinite big, infinite small. I know for me, I've healed so much of my body that there is infinite light within. And I know that when I make the call out to call in all angels, it has more power. It has meaning to me. And so because it has meaning to me, it has consciousness. It has favor. Does that make sense? So yes. I don't know if any of that resonates with you or kind of fits within what you're just saying. But this universe is infinite. I mean, it is the all. It is everything. And there are macro level scale in the third dimension, but there's also macro level in the 5 dimension. And so as we start to learn to listen to our higher selves, and we start to tap into that higher resonance form of ourselves that is bypassing the mind, will, and emotion and the brainwashing that we've experienced here in this particular place, we're just going to keep dissolving and getting better and better and better and better until we're so strong in spirit that we can create that almost complete state of dharma where we're no longer carrying karmic trauma. And I think that's really what we're here to do. We're here to rewind the clock to go from a state of devolution, which is maybe AI control, devil, demonic, to evolution, which is purest form of healing. And God is healing. We are healing. When I say God, I actually am talking about the macrocosm, we are healing within him. We are one with him. We are one with the universal mind. And so anyway, I hope that makes sense. I mean, I just think that when you realize that you're not the body, that you are consciousness, and that you are directly impacting this space-time continuum simply by activating your mind and activating your higher self and learning how to work through your higher self and how to listen to your intuition, how to follow your true path. And that's what's so great, Huna, is you're bringing people together that are willing to fully let go and fully let intuition guide, no matter how crazy it sounds, no matter how out there it may be, you know, to them in their mind as it comes through. Owning it and living in it and honoring it really is what we're here to do.
Absolutely, best experienced in person. I would promote that. But you're exactly right. Tahowahi, Huna Tahowahi. Rose, you're coming in from the UK, I bet. Yeah, are you in Glastonbury?
Hi.
How are you? How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I've not been around for a while.
Yeah.
You spoke a while back talking about Mongolia.
Who spoke?
And you mentioned that there was going to be an integration of the Albatross.
Yes.
Could you speak a little bit more about that, please? I want to know what I'm in for. I am that Albatross.
This is going to be me not making any sense to most again. Okay. So that's why it's best experienced in person. Less words, more energy and more vibration, frequency, and telepathics in person. Okay. But okay, I'll say what I say and then people can figure that out later. But all right. The Albatross. Okay, let's talk about undoing the systems. Everything everyone's lived under for these past 5,000 years is draconian. That is a system designed to do what it did to you. Okay, that's an actual fact. That's a system. There is another system that will undo all of that if you're willing to sit with it and get education on it. And that is the Lemurian system we speak of as the Wataka. To learn the Wataka, you are not in the draconian alignments or time codes. You are in a whole nother universe, high vibration to the higher self, absolutely on the ground and in the formless, in the form and in the formless. You are connected seamlessly there. You're living that essence. And even though you may be in what is going on, you are not of it. And that's getting even more intense when you're getting re-educated and educated into these things, these systems and the knowing, because the knowing brings wisdom, and when wisdom brings the sacredness for you to connect to your higher self. The more we talk about the wounding or we talk about issues day by day, minute by minute, that sometimes that even makes it more difficult for the many to bounce out of that draconian system, because it's kind of like get traumatized and like, but I don't want to talk about it anymore. You know what I mean? So what I've experienced in all these times, years with the system is to know that really know that draconian system and what it does, thereby not just talking about getting rid of it and talking about battling against it, but getting totally rid of it. Totally getting rid of it, because it's not a battle. If you are working, switching systems, it's no battle. Done already. Switch the system and the battle's done already. There is no battle. They want you to think there's a battle. And that's a battle. When they put you into that, you're going to go into fight mode, even in a little bit in your consciousness. Right? But in the other side of it is like, once you shift the system, it's like getting rid of an old car. You don't think about it anymore, right? You're all, oh, look at this nice car. It's beautiful. I like this. Smells like a new car in here. Smells like a new car in my spaceship. I like this. That's kind of the thing. And make the switch really quick, because there should not be this hanging around time. That's kind of where I'm at, was pushing out the hanging around time. I still got this old car, but I'm trying to pay so I can buy this new car and get into the new car. Never mind that hanging out time. Just get it. Just go for it. Go for it.
There's no doubt, Huna, and that's something we were talking about last night a little bit on the phone. In regards to all there is the system, and how I was telling you, kind of my thing is the bridge. It's kind of the Huna decoder ring, because most of the planet, the system is all they have. It's all they've ever had. It's all they understand. It's all they know that's ever been there, and what it's like. It's funny, because what they want to do is they want to take the old mousetrap, right? They want to get rid of all of the bad guys in the mousetrap and then still live in the mousetrap. They want to let's put good guys, you know. It doesn't work that way because the system itself.
Switch the cheese.
I'm sorry? Yeah. It's the system itself has created the mousetrap. And it's the mousetrap, it's the problem. It's not that, you know, they want to take the way the government is now and just insert new people into the exact draconian structure. And it doesn't even occur to them that may be the problem. And that's part of what I do is try to take very complex stuff that you and Michelle talk about and make it a little more accessible to somebody who maybe is just coming into this and doesn't have a chance to really understand, you know, some of the things or the way you guys, or especially Huna, you know, I love you, Huna, but decoder ring. And it's confusing. It is, because you have that 30,000, you know, foot view of the entire world. I mean, nobody really does. You know, they're down here in the trees wanting to know, wanting to learn. So, you know, but I agree completely in regards to it's the system. We just step out of it, the war's over.
So to Tahawahi's question, you know, that's the system. Step out of it, get into a new car, boom, go. All right. Now, Tahawahi, can you just reply part of that question again? There was a second part of it, I think.
Well, you were particularly talking about the integrating the Albatross, and I just didn't understand why the Albatross at this time.
Sorry, so I went around the whole universe to come back to the Albatross, because in terms of systems, the Albatross is the birth sign for May, and there are 12 continents on this planet, not 7. They just lied to you about that. There are 12, and out of the 12. The May is the 12th month of the Lemurian system of the Wataka, and the birth sign that represents May is the Albatross.
Yeah,
and the Albatross's location in the form is all of Indonesia, Asia, and China and Mongolia, and just outside of the Ring of Fire.
Right. Okay.
If you know the story about Garuda, the story from the Vedic about Garuda and Vishnu, how he rides the dragon. That bird, that giant bird, Garuda, is an essence of the continental being we speak of as Toroa, which is the albatross's signature, biggest wings on the planet. And so, if you were born in May, between May 1 and 28, May is huge in terms of this 22 billion souls being supported by a continental being, energy of light that supports the movements that we are and the actions that we are going through. I won't make sense to many, but I do have introduction webinars that I've been sharing for years, and people have been going to them. I also have the Dragon Masters, which is highly advanced. People are going to be graduating out of this June. Now, to just share some of that across, if anyone's listening and like, what the heck is he talking about? What's that birth sign? It is nature. Back to the creation of life and these beings that are supportive of what we are doing, which is that we have been excited about May for the past 8 years. I've been excited about Gobi, trying to get to the light time. Of course, it's divine, but you know, I'm a kid. I'm trying to grab everything with everything in my hands, and I'm still trying to grab things while my hands are full. That's me. Right. Okay. So I'm excited about May. You know what I'm saying? I got a whole bunch of toy cars in my hand ready to go.
Ready to start them and wind them up and set them free.
So the Albatross, we've got a great team ready to go to the Toroa. We are going to the Albatross in its location, Japan, Mongolia, and I was already in Bali to get one of the stargates ready. There are 4 stargates I'm working with. They are on that continent. Okay, and they're aligned to those energies of the creation, powerful creations of nature, and the powerful light being of the Toroa.
And it is the giving of the Torah on May 28th this year, which is the Pentecost. I see I see Teresa has a birthday May 28th. But that was when, it's 42 days from today. That was when the children of Mount Sinai were basically given the Torah. Moses was given the Torah, which is the truth. This is the time of year that that people celebrate the giving of the Torah, which is
Right.
yeah. So it's interesting that you bring that up, and that it's almost always in May.
So absolutely, there are pieces that are of the other cultures, of many cultures, that have a part to play in here. I don't disregard them, but I'm always going to go to Lemuria because it was before Atlantis, and I know the language is undistorted, pure, and so the Torah is pure. You know, the animals, the beings, they are pure. That's why we speak that language that they espouse.
What is the Torah? The Torah.
Torah, Toroa, is the albatross. It is the language of the albatross. It means this essence of the essence of the Torah is a giant bird of peace with the most biggest wings to carry you. It's that a giant bird of peace within our culture. But
so
also,
let's just elaborate on that really quick, if you don't mind. You've got the Torah, so the giving of the Torah, the giving of the truth. You've got the Taurus, which is the bull in the midnight sky. It used to actually be a unicorn. You've got the Taurus field, right? And then the torso.
yeah.
You know, so there's just so many root words to that. So I think that's obviously being carried over.
Absolutely, to all day long. You know, roa, which means long. And so there's somebody here at some stage later on. It's going to be a great show. We're going to share with you the prescriptions and the recipes for astrology from the Lemurian side. Huna Tamahaki has been working on some incredible, highly complex mathematics, calculations, navigations of the astrology and astronomy of the constellations of Lemuria, both the constellations on the ground, the constellations within, and the constellations above. She's showing off right now. She's going to show off. And that's okay. That's okay. But just a little teaser. We're making it simple for the children, all right? We're making it simple for the children. So Tahowahi, yes, that's isn't that your motu? Toroa?
Yes. Yeah.
So Toroa, so Miki and Nick, just a little quick thing here. The Albatross is the 12th month of the Lemurian calendar, and the translation is the understanding is we're getting rid of months, minutes, days. We don't need those. Those are part of the draconian. We're going straight to the essence of the energy, which is the Toroa. So we're replacing the sound of May with the sound of Toroa. That May, who is someone just said on here, Thomas, that was good. Be that as it may, that the creatures that support all the birth that comes through that moment are being supported by this light energy of this star nation being Toroa to enter into this place as part of the major system we are working on. That's the New Earth system.
And New Earth has a toroidal field,
yep,
which is affected by the stars and the zodiac. Yes. Interesting.
We've got a whole nother thing for you on that. That's going to be a real humdinger. It'll twist you around a little bit, but it should, right? It should. It's supposed to
untwist you.
It's supposed to shake you. It's not a workshop. It's a shakeup. That's what I used to say. You know, it's a real shakeup. Huna, so what's been going on just before we switch over to? I just came back from the UK. I didn't see you. You didn't come to Cornwall.
No, I couldn't make it. I was very sad. I was with you in spirit.
Yeah. Well, we felt you all for sure. But thank you. I want to share, if that's okay. I'd like to share another image, if I may. May I?
Of course.
Thank you, Huna.
We love your images.
Where are we? Okay. Can you see this image?
Yep.
Okay. This was just one of three altars that we have for the undoing. Tamake, can that blow up? What are we doing here? Oh, that's it. Now, what? Let me just try to. If you can, I don't know if you guys can zoom in, but on here, from left to right, from left to top center to bottom right, the left is the transmutation codes of the Wataka. They're infinite and deep, and they're just all, it's true reality, all the codes. Top dead center is the 28th day calendar known as the Ma'ita. This is called the transition, 28 days transition calendar, or Wataka. And on the bottom right, that is the transcendence, omnipresent, consciousness and form omnipresent. And of course, we had some wonderful items on the altar. As let me get out of this, as we were talking about systems and we were talking about stuff, this is, of course, again, things nobody understands, but many do. You'll be surprised. They don't know that they know, but they can remember. And when they're in the presence of experience it, they remember. It's not a matter of knowing, because we already know. It's just sometimes a matter of an instant of remembering. And perhaps you, as a catalyst, Nick and Miki, you're catalyzing and you're catalyst for people, shunting them over. Some of it will be made available if you are interested to connect to some of this education, some of this information. Okay, this is pre-Atlantis, 600 million years of knowledge from the first mountain of the world, from Lemuria. That's where this information comes from. It's before the Vedic. If everything is all now is everything, that's fine. Why are we not all speaking the original one language? And that's where we're going to, in the original one language of the one, the law of one, or Huna. Okay, one in the many, many in the one, and this is what this speaks. And so, not to beat a dead horse, any other thoughts on disclosures from this month? What you experienced? Any ceremonies that you did? Here's an image of me in getting the ceremony ready of the undoing. Now, let me just share this. Maybe there was a correlation to you somewhere where you were, if you were driving in your car, or if you were having a shower, maybe you were sitting on the toilet, okay, while we were in the middle of stuff. Everything happens all at once, right? The date, what was the date, Tamake, of this? March 31st. When I was in ceremony, this is the undoing. And what I do here is I pull the nails from their hands and their feet, the nails that are stuck with their consciousness. I literally pull them, and they literally feel them being pulled out of their hands and their feet. And then what I replace them with is the feathers of the dove, in terms of this honoring, the ceremony. At the same time as I'm doing these things, I'm charging this little location in the corner of a room, and I'm opening a portal right in there, right through their eyes, and taking their whole system through another portal or stargate. We do the work in the formless side, and then I help them to return back into the body again. This is all done without plant medicine. And it is felt 111% in their body when they complete this portion of it, which is a very personal, private thing. Frequencies, I produce frequencies without a sound bowl, meaning I can produce high-end frequencies right through my throat, right from here. Right, so I don't need any technologies. I am a technology, and this is when they leave me, we go to place them individually because they're doing about 30 minutes each with me, and then they're individually taken to relax on codes. They are laying down on another mat that has powerful codes of the Kaha system that you know as chakra, but the language is Kaha, which means pure source power, and they are laying down on those codes. And so we bring them through this. Their experience in there, as you can see, there is Huna Maroyata sitting way over to my left in the corner. And then you've got Rihanna sitting right here in the screen here, Nick, Rihanna from New Zealand. They are called, I invited them to become sword holders. Okay, so they are holding the sword. I introduced the sword back, introduced the sword into this moment because we were about ready to go to Tintagel. You know, Tintagel, I think you call it Tintagel, one of the homes of King Arthur, and the sword and the lake is not far from where we are. Introduced that aspect and that energy into the field. So we had 3 Hunas actually sitting around holding the sword. They are meditating on it. Sometimes they do it in action, which is like this. To sit in meditation like this is to hold the sword. Okay, this is holding the sword. It's been confirmed in other ceremonies I did in Belgium years ago. So they do that, and what they're doing is, of course, all your archangels are there. Michael, everybody's there. Jermaine, Gabriel, you know, all these wonderful names, you know, these wonderful personalities that you know. Arthur is there because I'm also an aspect of Arthur. But we're all there. Everybody's hanging out. So if at any time where you, during this thing was happening, the ceremony, were you experiencing any of this through your lineage? Because both of you here are from this lineage. You were both from the Scandinavian, the European, the Scottish, the Irish, the UK, even Romania, Russia, German, France, and Spain. It's all the same. You were all from the lineages that gathered here.
That happened 31st. Is that March 31st at about 7 p.m.? Does that say?
Well, this is when but
that was about when you had that ceremony,
yeah.
Give or take, right?
Yeah.
That's funny. I was recording a Mahoney out of Spain with Mahoney, and we were talking about not the same things, but similar kind of things. Is it right as that was taking place? Interesting.
Yes.
I have a question for you, Huna.
Okay. Let it rip.
In regards to the same time period, if you'll remember back to about the time when you arrived at the location, Rihanna told me that you tasked her with something I believe called a dragon eye to a latecomer. There was a Huna that came in late, maybe had strange energies.
Oh, yes.
Tell me about that. I want to understand what that is.
Okay, so when a person arrives late to something like this, it's not good. You know, to kind of interrupt the flow. So I said, and I made sure this person knew that they were to enter, and they weren't to enter, just walk right in. They needed to be guided into the space. And that once she was guided into the space, she was to sit. And then Rihanna, Huna Karima, I invited her, when she sits, I would like you to sit in front of her and go straight to her eye. And I want you to go to the dragon eye, which is your left eye. And I asked her to connect her into the vibration and the frequency. It's another way to climatize her, harmonize her, harmonize her to be ready to be sitting with me, because she was late. It really pushed the schedule around for me, right? And the energies that I'm holding that need to be held, contained. I'm meticulous this way. I'm a bit anal this way. When it comes to these things, I'm very, very strict.
I'll tell you that Rihanna though she was brand new to that, she found it extremely powerful. And she said it was one of the memorable things of the week is having the opportunity to experience what that was. And I was just kind of curious from your perspective, you know, what it was all about.
Yeah, it was her harmonizing this person who was late to climatize her into the energies of the field and do it in a very powerful way so that this person energies had to be raised up higher by the time she came to sit with me. So she's able to sit with me and not wobble around and freak out, you know, just to make sure to go to these other levels. It's a lot of energy. And so she had this, you know, she said yes right away, of course. So she sat with her, and I said, you're going to do the dragon eye. You do the dragon eye. And I said to her what this means. And that will prepare this person for being able to come into the field and integrate better.
Thank you.
Yeah. And that's something that we can just do. Now she knows how to do it, you know. What she didn't know, she now knows. So she will not forget.
No, she will not. She said it was very powerful, just very unexplainable, really, you know, for words.
There's practices that I have and I do. You know, the dragon eye is a very powerful one. And I've taken hundreds and hundreds of people through the dragon eye directly 12 o'clock into the sun at the highest energy. That's the strongest practice of it, and where I tutor people to go there, and you know, it's a very, very powerful thing. And so perhaps hopefully one day I can you know, as you wish maybe to experience things in person. Best
I do, my friend. I got to get my ass in gear.
This will prepare you, boy. This will send a lot of energy into you. That's where I meditate. I don't meditate with my eyes closed. I meditate with my eyes open, 12 o'clock at the sun, and I'm at peace there. That's where I'm at the most peace, funny enough. That's very interesting.
How about
we have burning mass coming in, you know, July, and going to be into the States also June, July, August, September in the States. We're still pushing for that. Perhaps we can see you guys there at Burning Mass.
Oh, absolutely. And things are opening up very soon.
I would hope that I could make that invitation to you both, and and experience the Dragon Eye in person. Experience all these things and together. I can experience and share with you through the frequencies and the vibrations. Less talking, more feeling. It's okay. We can talk.
All right, I have a question, and I'm gonna have Michelle answer the question, since Huna and I have been sort of blah blah blah, and we're gonna simplify it down a little bit, because a lot of people know this answer, but they may not know it from Michelle and Huna. You guys both touched on the topic of twin flames. Okay, everybody hears about it. Nobody knows what it is. I'd like to hear from Michelle and or Huna after. What is this? To explain this to me.
Ooh, good question.
Thank you.
So as I understand, the soulmate connection is someone that you'd fall in love with, who is really here to help guide you to your twin flame. And that's going to be a little bit of a shock to a lot of the world. A lot of the people that have connected with soulmates are ultimately going to be connecting with their twin flames. And as I understand, a lot of the army of the 144, or the star seeds that are here right now, have an understanding, a deeper understanding, that they are telepathic and that they can connect on a much deeper level to someone here that is of their this is just what I believe, so just bear with me, guys. This is what I'm getting as downloads. I have no proof. But, you know, they say that God made man in his image. And then, so they made Adam, and then he made Eve. Well, ultimately, I think that God made a perfect twin flame, a perfect mirror for each and every one of us. And when you look in the mirror, you see a part of yourself. And there's this yin yang kind of connection where you can almost soothe all wounds because you see yourself in the other person. It's such a level that it can be almost overwhelming because you start doing deep work immediately because you love yourself and you love this partner almost more than you love even yourself. And so their happiness becomes more important than your own happiness. And there's a lot of matrix to unravel for a lot of the twin flames to actually come together. And there's a lot of bravery in leaving the matrix or maybe even leaving existing connections in order to form that true twin flame connection. But that's really, truly where the most healing is going to happen. And I think when the twin flames do come together, the power of that, the power of bringing in that the love frequency onto the planet is going to shift and ascend the planet even faster. It's just a matter of us moving through every layer of matrix to come together and find each other, right? And so also, I mean, the concept of communicating through telepathy, I think a lot of people are like, well, how do I know? You know, how do I know that I'm hearing my twin flame? But I do think that it's in a lot of the movies. It's literally in the Disney movie, Tangled, which is a story of Rapunzel who sits in a tower and she uses her telepathy to call upon her prince. And he just comes in because when you just resonate in that frequency of pure love, pure joy, pure bliss with your twin flame, the universe cannot help but respond to it. But in order to do that, you have to completely clear your entire, like, I don't know, you have to clear your karmic load, but you also have to clear your schedule so that your focus, your soul focus is on finding that true love.
Do we all have a twin flame that we can find?
I think that you have to ask yourself if you came here in this timeline to find your twin flame or not. I don't know that everyone's experience is going to be the same. You know, I know for me, I did come here to find my twin flame. And
do you have any leads on where that person may be, or are you still looking?
That is yet to be disclosed.
So
yeah, that was on the spot right there, Miki.
either let's build on this. Everybody that you talk to, the kind of normal person that knows everybody says that, you know, the twin flame is very, very difficult to get along with. Explain that bit for me.
Well, again, it's the duality that's kept us separate. And so in order to truly get along and unite with your twin flame, you actually have to see all of the darkness within. So unless you do all of your interpersonal work, you're not really maybe ready to meet in the 3D. And a lot of twin flames will come together in the 5D first. And that may have always been the way it was working. You know, we just weren't aware of it. As in, we're becoming more aware of divine things. We're becoming more aware of we're using more of our brain now, the capacity within our brain. And so when you open a telepathic communication with your twin flame, it's almost like setting up a pentacle or a pentagon, like a star. Think of, I want you to think of like the bottom points of the star as being the two of you in the 3D. But then the next points of the star are the two of you in 5D, and the highest point of the star is God. So in this Merkaba, if you will, you can connect to their higher self. They can connect to your higher self, which bypasses that mind, will, and emotion. And there's unlimited love connection in the 5D. So everything and anything you ever needed, you finally get fulfilled because they are available to you at all times, and you're communicating with their higher self. And their higher self can even tell you where their third dimensional operating system is getting stuck. So it's one way for us to completely unwind each other to the point to where you become whole again. And that's the concept, is to become whole again, to meet your perfect mirror who can love you unconditionally in a way that bypasses the matrix.
Very good. Very, very good. So could either of you very simply define the difference between twin flame and soulmate in very layman terms?
Like I said, I feel like a soulmate is just as it sounds. It's a soul mate or friend. deep friend, one that you may love deeply, but their primary purpose is really to help protect you and guide you to your twin flame. And it's the same for them. So it's about learning, and it's about experience, and it's really about distortion. If we didn't have distortion in the grid, we would be able to connect immediately, through scalar wave and through, communication. But because there'd been so much manipulation, we couldn't find our twin flame. There was also manipulation of timelines happening. Yeah. So we weren't really in a place of peace or power to be able to do that connection. But it's the thing we live for. We really, it's like you could have all the wealth in the world and still find more happiness in your twin flame than any other experience in your life. So many of us came here to have that experience.
And it is definitely behooving the bad guys to keep us from attaining that mission.
Very much.
Yes, I agree with all of these things, and I'd like to share a little bit as we go through this, but I just want to share with you my twin flame, okay? Can I share that? I want to share with you. This is my twin flame.
That's awesome.
That's my new tattoo on my back, and this is Feke Feke.
Oh, that's your back.
That's
I didn't know. I was like, who the hell is that, Huna? I didn't know that was your back.
I just had it tattooed with my twin flame. That's what she looks like.
Wow. Are you going to have it all colored in?
I'm working on that. I've got some plans, but now this is a terrible joke. I'm sorry. But what I'd like to share about it, let me just say, I have, as you know, the seal ceremony, source element ascension light ceremony, where I flashed the body and I flashed the crown system to flash light, the Christ light throughout your system. Now, there are people who've called me and they have said to me, I have a twin flame and we would like to get sealed together. It's not a Mormon thing. This is a Lemurian thing, right? This is the Kumara, right? This is the crystal light of days stuff. And so they come and I say, all right, sit down. Now, we go through the alignments of their names, break it down, find the alignment of the Huna, which will correlate and converge together. The sounds themselves, according to the story of their lifetime in this dimension, here in the reality, is that their sounds of their light in action will actually sound very close. Right? And I've been doing this for 30 years now. Trust me. I know how to speak to it, and when they're telling me their life stories and where this rebuilding and reconstructing of their name and their sounds through the lineage to clear everything, to bring through only light energy that converges from the other side into now. This is called a convergence seal. It's a twin flame. I take it beyond the twin flame and I speak to it as a convergence of light, with the light and it's spoken to two Hunas in partnership, two light aspects in partnership together. And the story and the trajectory of it by the sound of the Huna is amazing. There are some here watching right now that have experienced the convergence light ceremony through the seal. And then that is their challenge. Once they come from this convergence seal ceremony, the convergence ceremony, it is their challenge to continue their relationship together, however that's going to be, whatever is proclaimed. Right? There's such proclamations being made. Let me just share. Okay, and even in the soul, the proclamations made in the soul, and there's a recognition and remembering each other from many aspects of personalities that may have been, in their consciousness. That is a challenge. Certainly a challenge when they come to be here as twin flame or convergence light. I prefer convergence light because what is love? Do you know what love is?
It's light.
It is light, the highest light. Now, if love is the highest light, then what is your twin flame? Your twin flame. I have many twin flames. Many, literally billions of twin flames. That's why I showed you. That's why I shared this with you. All the dragon heads, all the energies, all the codes. I have literally billions and billions of twin flames. Not to even just speaking about the lifetimes that I have experienced over the millions of 600 million years of lifetimes I have experienced. Okay, and I'm not. I can say this, like might think I'm woo-woo, don't even understand me, but I have experienced this in person with other couples in the work that I do, and on these levels, and so, so, yeah, I am looking at them, and they are looking at me. When I look at them, they are me. Again, I go back to you speak of the law of one. Well, the twin flame light is a law of one light. There is this one and the same. Okay, we are one and the same. What is love? You're going to have all kinds of arguments about what love is, and you will. But we know that the highest love feeling is in the light. Convergence light. We are so. What was the plan? Since I was in Jerusalem in the 11-11-11, doing the ceremonies with 54 Hunas in person. Around the Golden Mount, that building, that gold, I forget the rock, the dome on the rock. We did the drop ceremony around it in person. Then we did the ceremony right at the Wailing Wall, Lemurian protocols. 3 rainbow stargates from the 24th dimension opened above us in front of everybody. We had 3 rings of Hunas, and I was at the center the ceremony. We were there doing these things, and all the light was converging. Everything was becoming one in Jerusalem, with Lemuria, with the Kumara light of days, with all cultures were just coming into being one light, convergence. And at that time, we called it the primary convergence, or even the paradigm convergence was what I themed that ceremony. It was being blasted out everywhere. And everybody was catching a hold of it. What is love? Convergence, light. Allow this light to, you're going to allow love. If we talk about love in the human sense, it's a little bit bumpy, isn't it? But just like my twin flame here, it's got heads, all kind of heads.
It doesn't have to be bumpy. It can be magical.
Well,
I mean,
it has been, Nikki.
Yeah.
It's been beautiful, and it is beautiful.
Yeah.
That's my point. What is love? It's bumpy, and it's not bumpy. It's all of that.
Yeah.
I'm a grandfather. I have 13 grandchildren. 13. I have 4 children over the age of 35. Right? I know love in these ways of what's that love? Children's love, mother's love, father's love, grandmother's love, partnership, relationship love, all these. Trust me, it's been bumpy as a grandfather, and a little alone a relationship. But that's why I present Feke here. We got our arms in everything. We are meant to be everywhere and everywhere at once.
Yeah.
I'm not knocking what you're saying. I agree with what you're saying. This is just another part of it, right?
Yeah. What do you think, Nick? What do you think about twin flames? Are you here to meet one?
Honestly, you guys, strangely enough, as much as I'm a student of the game and I've been studying this, for most of my life, for some reason, there's a few things that I don't know. I always kind of thought as, kind of foo-foo-y stuff. I'm not really, I don't care about that. For some reason, a few of these things like that, I never put much credence into. I never really thought it amounted to much. But as time goes on and I meet more and more people, I'm hearing more and more just things like, I was talking to Rihanna the other day about the divine feminine. I don't know a great deal about the divine masculine, divine feminine, and the true importance and the true explanation of it. So these are the things I'm learning. I'm taking this time to more so learn than to teach. I don't know, Miki. I absolutely don't freaking know.
Well, I think being divine just means operating from your higher self, learning to forgive yourself for, anything that you are misled, anything that you maybe neglected, or any walls you put up around your heart, and just starting to let those dissolve and letting that vulnerability come through. Again, like I said, I feel like we've just been in such a matrix. We've all so busy that we don't even realize how good it felt when you were a teenager and you first started learning about the other sex. You know what I mean? Really realizing that there's a lot to explore, in the opposite sex, and nature is. If you study the Kabbalah and stuff, one of the principles is all about the masculine and feminine. There's masculine and feminine in everything you look at, everything you see, every flower, every plant, everywhere. So we are meant to find that perfect balance. Even if that means letting down every wall, even if that means being a little vulnerable, even if that means doing the interpersonal work, even if that means crying a lot, it's because once you resolve those issues and once you start operating out of your higher self, and that's what I was trying to say with that pentagon. It's like when you do enter into that divine connection and you can connect to their higher self, think about how much you see them as a different person. So then you're projecting upon them what you see as their higher self. It's easier for a twin flame to raise up another individual into their highest possible version of themselves, because that's what they're mirroring onto them. That's what they're seeing. And twin flames can also share visions, visualizations. They can receive, creativity from the angelic realm. Talk about the type of art you're going to see come out of twin flames. Talk about the synchronicities that are going to start happening around twin flames. And that's exactly what children, I think, in this new age are going to need as well, is parents that are in perfect union.
If I could just share, yeah, absolutely, Miki, you're correct. I have a partner now who I'm terribly in love with now. Yeah. And who is like-minded. And the light is very strong and powerful with us. And I've always said, if only I can be liked, then that's enough for me. What is enough for everybody? What do you need? Okay. Yeah. We talk about divine, and I find this relationship that I have with her is amazing. We are telepathic. We have had experience in past lifetimes. I'll just say in Japan, long time ago. We have remembering of one another. Are we twin flames? Yes, we are. Can we expect? Do we expect anything? No. I just would like to be wake up in the morning and we at least like each other. But we do, of course, more than that. And so we are on missions together. And we go above and beyond service to self, right? We are of service beyond self. And those are kinds of the things, they're magical. These are the kinds of things that one could only wish for in this lifetime. I've had many lifetimes or many moments to understand that. I feel like she is my twin flame. Can I say that? I would say she's my convergence. And she converges me into this particular divine intention, divine directive of the light. She helps me more to be that. I'm a bit of a big old tough dragon, and then also she allows me to be soft. Yeah. Maybe I'm saying too much here, I think, guys.
No, that's right. That's exactly right. It's funny because
I bet she's happy to hear these things.
Well, think about it though. Like a woman can allow a man to be softer, and a man can allow a woman to be a little less masculine, right? And we live in such a masculine world. I know for me, I was always competing among men. I was, I've been successful in my life in the tech world. I was always among men. I always had to act like a man, talk like a man. And when
you're pretty tall as well.
I'm pretty tall. And so, it's nice actually to consider finding your twin flame connection, because they can soften you in ways that you've been hardened here, in ways that you were almost forced to act a certain way. It has been such a masculine realm that I feel like, in a sense, men have been over masculinized and women have been over masculinized. Like once we all soften a bit and come back into a state of, of just letting our hearts decide. And if you listen to songs, even just in the past, I don't know, in the 80s, even up to the 80s, 90s, they were all about this kind of stuff. I mean, guys, it has just been going downhill fast since 2001.
Oh, big time. The changes are massive. I mean, I'm curious, in the conversation, over the last 20 years, how men have been demasculated. That's sort of been the goal of the cabal. It's the opposite. They're trying to strip away the manliness from the men. What are your two of your thoughts in regards to that?
Well, that's, I think, just the recent narrative. That's the and heading into war time, I think they started with that narrative and that hard push toward, hey, gay is popular and, transgender is the way to go. But if you look at the men in like the generations of like maybe the 60s, 70s, 80s, they have been almost like more controlling, right? So many men, I think, in marriages are quite controlling. They don't know how to let go of control. And it was really the men deciding on final contracts and agreements among partnerships, et cetera. Do you know what I mean? But it's that new narrative for the younger generation that is obviously also very debilitating. So I think you're looking at both sides of that. But women have also been very just because they entered the workforce and they had to, give up on making the home special and really, nesting and all the things that women are natural at and, preparing meals with love and so on. We didn't have time for that. We've all been at work. We've all been in a man's world, if you want to call it that. But it hasn't been as community based. It hasn't been, as free flowing as maybe it should be. And don't get me wrong, I love business. I love it, but I want to be a feminine in business. I want to be able to bring a woman's touch into the business world. I don't want to have to be a man because I'm not a man.
Very good.
Yeah, we don't want you to be a man either, Miki.
I want to be softer on the edges, just saying.
We just keep you as you are. Okay, that's great. You know what? There is somebody, we may have to get one more question in before we get out of here. There's somebody, Kathleen, where are you? You want to come in and ask a question? Where is she? Huna Tamake, could you track
Come
her
on down?
Let's bring her up for one more question. She says she's ready to show herself. She's ready to be seen. This is the kind of stuff we got going on here. And I thank you very much for you guys' wonderful commentary, and it's so colorful. While we're waiting for Kathleen, I want to share. Can I share another image with you?
I love Tala saying, I need a dragon who can put up with my dragon ways.
I got 8 of them on my back. Take one of them. I'd like to share just an image while we're waiting for Kathleen. Is that okay? Just again from the weekend that we had in Cornwall. Add to the stream here. Yeah. Okay. I tutored the Hunas in a process called the pulling of the rods of God.
Mm-hmm.
This process, which is a thing, is the person instructs you to visualize, to see an energy ball within inside of you. And there are rods that protrude from that energy ball. The energy ball is the size of your consciousness. In other words, bigger than any omniverse ever. You can increase the size of that energy ball 1,000 times bigger than the sun, and it'll still fit in your head, in your consciousness. And then you have the person operating there to help stretch the rods. What this does is it expands your voltage, electrical field for your sphere. I don't know. Do you know you have an aura? But do you know your electromagnetic field can be adjusted this way, not just by yourself, but actually be felt as someone pulling the rods, and you can feel them pulling the rods, and they can feel pulling the rods, and they can feel how far your energy field has become. It's supposed to be at your arm's length, right? That's your electrical field supposed to be here. So when we tutor you to access this and learn this technique, you're able to do some of it yourself, but it's also fun to do it with another person. And you can teach this as a workshop. I'm sharing this with you so you can take this and go ahead. If you want to learn more, I'll share more about it. But the person sitting down, the young man sitting down in the chair, his name is Huna Hikahi, and he is from the Order of Merlin. He was just inducted into the Order of Merlin in England, and he's a powerful Merlin energy. And the woman applying and administering from the instructions there, guiding, is Huna Hawaiki Nui. She is from Ireland, from Cork, Ireland. And she, and they were, or you can see them all sitting there and standing, going through the practice of pulling of the rods of God, your electrical system, expanding your electrical system. I'll get another image here, perhaps of there's two Hunas there. I'm just sharing with you some Hunas. Standing there is Huna Kahiwaha from Vancouver, actually from Cape Town, Africa, South Africa, by way of Vancouver. Sitting in the seat is Huna Tarikawa, sitting down in the chair there. She is from the UK. There you go. The Hunas eat a lot. That's the most important part of our gathering. I invite you to experience in person. This is what we eat too. We sit at the table. We sit at the table together. So just wanted to share some of those images with you. And while we're waiting for this question, it doesn't look like Kathleen's coming on. Okay, well, maybe for next time. This has been a wonderful sharing with you. I know some things are still a bit vague, the way I tend to share things. And I don't mind being vague, you know. It's still, I don't mind the mystery of the thing, you know. Again, we have got to get together, and then the mystery is dispelled. Right? There is no mystery, you know. Let's get together. So I want to invite that.
Agreed.
And I want to make this invitation directly here on this channel to invite you both to come to speak at Burning Mask. We will have the date. Location is in Roswell, New Mexico. And
really,
it's the location of Stargate number 1. The new Stargate for the new grid for the new planet. Stargate number 1 is near that location.
Really?
Yes.
I'll be damned. And I mean, is that why area 51 is over there? I mean,
well, they have connections to it, but actually the Stargate was reset to higher frequency. They do not have access to that higher frequency. They have access to lower frequency portals, but they do not have access to the actual Stargate's highest frequency at all. That you cannot drive your ships and fly your ships through these Stargates. They are not shipping lanes. They are protected and guarded only for the child of light to enter through. That is the only purpose for the New Earth Stargates. You can have your portals and lower vibrations Stargates and portals where they're transferring technology and, you know, making deals and whatever, so on and so forth. I know all about that, but my concern has always been the multi-grid Stargates, which is the light of the child. And that cannot be, it used to be messed with. It's no longer going to be messed with. That's just it, cut off. Only for that light, for your highest purpose, your highest self is that light that's coming through there. Connected to your highest self, your most eternal, most infinite light of your highest self. Those stargates are reserved for that and that alone. It's a part of our mission. And so the burning mass can be in that location. We tried a couple of years ago, but unfortunately through immigration problems and like shutdowns and lockdowns and the loss of a lot of revenue because of it. Okay, fine. We've rebuilt again and we're ready. It looks like we can hit it this time, right on the button.
What date is that?
The date's going to probably around August 8th, aligning to the Fatura. So there's another Lemurian system. Okay, I can share that. But in August, around the middle of August, maybe, we'll have the date and the location as we go forward. We are going to start in July, and it's already been booked. I booked the venue in Glastonbury, Burning Mass in Glastonbury, in the UK in July. Then we will be in Vancouver for August, and Roswell in September. Sorry, September. Yeah, September. September. Oh, yeah, September 14th, 15th weekend. It's aligned to the flash, to the solar flash, of which I've said it's going to arrive in the springtime on the Lemurian calendar, which is spring. That's what I've
Really?
Yes.
So
That's what I've said, that the flash is going to arrive, the solar flash, in spring, in September, on the birth and the dates of Yeshua, on his birth date, which is the birth month. The birth sign for that month is the dove. I said, and so we're
I believe it was it not September 11th?
Well, there's these. We can go between 11 and 15, even 11 and 17.
Well, that's why they chose 9/11.
The king of England from the line of King George, his descendant is Gregory Joseph Hallett, which he was born on September 15th from the George King line, right? And so that's also where these numbers pop up, and it's connected to Trump as well.
Mm-hmm.
But aside from all those personalities, I'm all about the solar flash and the door of the child, which is Stargate number 1 in that location in Roswell.
Yep, I can commit to that. I can damn near commit to anything in the States. But hey, I just wanted to thank the both of you. It was great spending some time. I've got to go to another engagement out of this house, so I really appreciate it, Big Huna. Look forward to the future, and I want you both to be on my new little channel that we talk about all this deep law of one type things with Huna Dillon. Miki, I'd love for you to be on the show as well. We need to exchange ways to reach one another. We talk about a lot of the same things, and I think it'd be a good thing. So absolutely. I appreciate the both of you.
All right, you guys. It was a pleasure being here.
Thank you both. I'll share the link with you. It's public, so but I'll share it over so you can share it out if you're happy to do that. Let me thank our audience from all the way around the world, including Fiji. Vinaka, Bolivinaka there, Miss Fiji, and Loloma in the language of the Hopi. Loloma is one of their greetings. Also to Huna Marawawa there, Miigwech, Ni Bojo, Brother Huna, Ni Marana, yes, Ni Marana. Teresa, Louise, Thomas, gotta love you, Thomas. Conspiratary. Okay, all of you guys, thank you so much. It's always a blast. I'm going to have another one next Sunday, so we'll see who's coming along. And
okay,
stay in touch, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Huna. Bye, Nick.
Bye-bye.
See you, Michelle.
Bye-bye.